You're watching a Highwire Media podcast.
Welcome to the Talking Texas Rangers show. As always, I'm your host, Larry Elise. On today's episode, we're diving into all the latest headlines from around Globe Life Field. Before we do that, give us your thoughts on the topics we cover in the comment section below, and give us your thoughts on the current status of the Texas Rangers. But with that, we dive into Texas injury update, Nathan Eovaldi's return, Tyler Mahl's mystery, and so much more. The Texas Rangers face a definitive series versus Seattle with injuries looming and arms returning at just the right time. The Texas Rangers are gearing up for what could be the most crucial series of the first half of the MLB season as they come back home to take on the Seattle Mariners on Friday. Take 2 or 3 from the M's and we can start talking about returning to the playoff race. Lose 2 or 3 or worse, and it might be time to start talking about selling at the deadline. With the big series coming up, it's natural to wonder how close the Texas Rangers will be to full strength. Luckily, we've got all kinds of updates, including one great one for the series opener. Wyatt Langford could be headed to the IL before the Texas Rangers' next game. The bad news is that outfielder Wyatt Langford missed his second straight game with left side tightness. The Rangers say they'll do some testing once they get home today. An IL stint could be in the offing, but for now, he's day-to-day. Don't expect him to be in Friday's game, at the very least. And unfortunately, Cody Bradford is done for the year. There was some hope that reliever Cody Bradford could return at some point this season. However, earlier this week, the team announced he underwent elbow surgery on Wednesday. He's done for the year and will almost certainly miss some of 2026. Nathan Eovaldi is about to make a triumphant return on Friday. Nathan Eovaldi has been out longer than the Texas Rangers originally hoped he would be, but all the worries that things were much worse than the team was letting on. This week, when Bruce Bochy announced the Cy Young candidate would get the start to open the series against the M's. It's a massive update for Eovaldi and the Rangers, who need a win to set the tone for the weekend. Jake Burger is out for the rest of July. Being without Jake Burger for any length of time is not ideal. The first baseman landed on the IL with a left oblique strain after leaving in the 8th inning of a June 20th win over the Pirates. The Rangers don't expect he'll need much more than 10 days. That means he'll be back in early July, hopefully. John Gray is working his way back with bullpen sessions. More pitching help could be on the way in the form of John Gray, who has missed the entire season with a wrist fracture he suffered in spring training. Yesterday, he threw a bullpen session. If he wakes up this morning without any issues, he'll throw 1 or 2 more, and then the Rangers will discuss a rehab assignment. Josh Boers has more bullpen sessions ahead. Like Gray, Josh Boers has been out since the spring after undergoing shoulder debridement surgery. He threw a bullpen last week and will throw a couple more before entering a rehab assignment. It's not clear exactly what's wrong with Hall. Currently, he's on the IL with shoulder fatigue. He went on the IL retroactive to June 12th, so he could technically be back in time for the Mariners series on Friday, but that's not happening. For now, no one has any idea when he'll return. Jock Peterson could find out next steps soon. Jock Peterson has been out more than a month with a fracture in his hand after getting hit by a pitch. The last update came on June 13th, saying he needed to wait 2 more weeks for a scan. That scan could come any day now, and at that point, the Rangers will have a better idea of when he'll return. And now we're going to take a look at a Rangers outfielder who remains a top candidate to be dealt before trade deadline. The Rangers are trending towards being sellers, and this fan favorite is on the hot seat right now. The Rangers dropped 2 straight to the lowly Pittsburgh Pirates and Baltimore Orioles, dropping to 38-41, and are a season-high 7.5 games behind the Astros, and 2.5 games out of the final AL wildcard spot. If the Rangers don't turn things around, they will be looking to unload players at the trade deadline. And there is one name that continues to pop up as the guy who is most likely to be looking for a new home. Adolis Garcia got off to a horrendous start this season, forcing Rangers manager Bruce Bochy to sit him for 3 games to get his head right. Garcia has been much better as of late, pulling his average up from 208 to a more respectable 233 over the last several weeks, hitting 339 with a 941 OPS over its last 15 games. Unfortunately for him and Ranger fans, he will never forget his Herculean effort in the 2023 ALCS and role on that World Series winning team is just making the price tag that much shinier for the open market buyers. As the Rangers have middled about and hovered around the 500 mark all season, Garcia, who's on the final year of a 2-year, $14 million deal, has drawn attention from contending teams enamored with his brutish power and elite defensive play in the outfield. His name has continued to be mentioned in trade rumors because of his relatively club-friendly deal and how he can provide some immediate power for a team seeking a right-handed power bat. It would be heartbreaking to see the perennial Rangers RBI leader, an emotional heartbeat, traded away for younger players, so the team had better turn things around very quickly. They hope to keep Garcia in a Rangers uniform. And now on to our next topic. Rangers top prospect showcases speed and pop. An MLB Pipeline Spotlight. The Texas Rangers top minor league bat swiped 3 bags and racked 2 hits in Tuesday's prospect showcase. There's still quite a debate over whether the current version of the Rangers are contenders or pretenders. However, there shouldn't be any doubt in the future the team lies in the hands of one of MLB's top prospects, Sebastian Walcott. The young slugger recently showed again why some consider him the top prospect in all of baseball, who hasn't been called up yet. On Tuesday, Walcott participated in MLB Pipeline Prospect Showcase between the Frisco Rough Riders and the Tulsa Drillers, and in doing so, he showed he was the best player on the field. After a somewhat slow start at the AA level for the franchise's #1 prospect, he looked like the prospect everyone was excited about during the early portion of his matchup. Walcott also showed the most exciting aspect of his game. He'll make the opposition pay for it if you allow him to reach base. In his first at-bat, he singled and then almost immediately stole second and third base. Later in the game, he notched another single and stole another base. On the season, he has now nabbed 15 steals in 20 attempts. He's also improving as 2025 goes on. Still, in his 3rd season in professional baseball, Walcott has some growing to do. However, after that slow start, he posted a 248, 347, 406, 753 overall. He's also fallen into a bit of a slump over the last week, but his 2-hit day on Tuesday could be a sign of things to come. Sebastian Walcott continues to prove he's someone with decent pop and plenty of speed. As he matures and grows, he could be a real dual threat for the Texas Rangers before too long. And now we're going to take a look at the Rangers' trade plans, which hinge on key matchups in the final week of June. The Rangers will know if they are buyer or sellers by the end of June. Here we are, just a handful of games away from a midway mark of the 2025 season. The Rangers are still not sure if they should be buying or selling in advance of the trade deadline on July 31st. The team has been up and down so far and has a 38-41 record to indicate that they are struggling to find an identity. This week will likely tend what will be the steps moving forward for Chris Young and the organization. You can't ask much more of the pitching staff, which has been dominant in the first half of the season. The combination of DeGrom, Eovaldi, and Mall is of the caliber that you can make a World Series run with. They, along with relievers like Sean Armstrong, Hobie Milner, Chris Martin, Robert Garcia, have all contributed to the league's 3rd-best team ERA. At the same time, the offense has underperformed to the point that the team ranks near the bottom of several key offensive categories. If the lineup had hit anywhere near what was expected coming out of spring training, there would be no question that the organization would be all-in buyers. Alas, with horrendous starts by Marcus Semien, Jock Peterson, Jake Berger, and Adolis Garcia, they have not been able to muster enough runs to win games that the pitching staff has given them every opportunity to do. In the final week of June, the Rangers have 3 games left with the last-place Baltimore Orioles and a 4-game weekend set with divisional rival Seattle Mariners. If, say, the Rangers get hot and win 6 of those 7 games and get to 44-42, it would be hard for Chris Young and the Rangers front office to justify throwing in the towel and selling. However, if Texas has another slump with the bats, ends up losing 4 or 5 of the 7, then it'll be hard to justify not selling. It is hard to imagine the team being all in if the Rangers end the month at 40-46 or something close to that. It is without a doubt the most meaningful week of the season thus far, and will make the team's plans for the rest of the season much clearer. The Rangers' 27th prospect is turning heads in the minor leagues, which means Texas might have a great rotation piece to add to Jack Leiter and Kumar Rocker in a few seasons. The Texas Rangers might have a candidate to fill a rotation spot to pair with future battery mate Malcolm Moore by the time the 2027 rolls around. The organization's number 27 overall prospect right-hander David apologies for butchering his name, has been turning heads down in the Rangers farm system since he was signed as a free agent. In 21 and two-third innings during the 2023 season, he combined for a 3.32 ERA, 27 strikeouts, and 4 walks. It only got better from there, throwing 110 innings, compiling an 8-2 record with a 1.88 ERA in low A and high A in the 2024 season. To kick off this season, he was teaming up with Moore at high A Hub City, but recently earned a much-deserved promotion to Double A Frisco. So where did this kid come from? How has he gone largely under the radar in a Rangers farm system and has seen better days in the national rankings? 22-year-old Venezuelan had originally signed as a free agent with the Mets in 2021, but the deal was voided 2 months later. Roughly a year later, the Rangers swooped in and signed him for $10,000. Featuring a fastball, curveball, slider, and splitter, the righty generated swing and miss on his low 80s slider 58% of the time last season. Mixing in a fastball that maxes out at 96, the 6-1 hurler makes it look effortless and knows how to command the strike zone. In May, he recorded a .96 ERA in 5 starts, striking out 35 batters and limiting the walks to only 5. Despite a final tough outing in his AA career on June 13th, he still earned that promotion to Frisco, putting 4 and 2/3 innings, 2-run ball, in his debut with the team on June 20th. As mentioned, he's not estimated to arrive at Major League Baseball until the 2027 season, but that lines up perfectly with when they hope Sebastian Walcott will be in Arlington. Malcolm Moore is getting his feet wet in MLB, their second-round pick last season, and Dylan Drailing, and many more of their current top 30. And now on to our next topic. Chris Young admits that the Ranger hitters are allowing the moment to get too big. Ranger exec calls out pressing bats after a latest shutout. The Texas Rangers offense hasn't come close all season to being the unit President of Baseball Operations Chris Young thought it would be. He and Brochi have tried all sort of things to get it rolling, including bringing in a new hitting coach. However, Young now thinks that quite a bit of problem is mental, and he seems at a loss as how to figure out a solution. Young sat down with 105.3 The Fan last week to discuss the offensive struggles following another shutout. This time, 6-0 loss to an Orioles team that doesn't have a decent pitching staff. Young believes it's evident that several Ranger players are pressing badly when they come to the plate with runners on. Young added that the team needed to find a way to get big hits or at least have good at-bats with runners in scoring positions. He also believes the offensive struggles are different than earlier in the season. In the spring, it was about getting anyone on. When asked about a specific player, the Rangers executive said Corey Seager definitely seems to be pressing more than he usually does. The Texas Rangers must soon find a way to escape the RISP struggles. Otherwise, like we mentioned before, they'll be sellers at the deadline. And with that, that is our episode for today. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, you can buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/TTRangers or scan the QR code that's right there. As always, your support helps the channel grow, upgrade our equipment, bring new hosts, and be able to take this show on the road. As always, thank you so much for watching and listening. We'll see you next time.